Hey there folks, this is Genotype, a Mendelian genetics game. My goodness, what in the world, is that going to be fun? It sounds like maybe this would be school and not fun, but my goodness was I impressed with this game. It's in essence a meeple placement game. You don't have meeples, you've got your little trowels that you're putting on different spaces on the board. Depending on the player count, there's going to be multiple people that can go on different spaces or not. And so it's classic in that sense of a meeple placement game. All of the spaces feel really pretty powerful, and then the most powerful space that you can go to, every single person has on their own little player mat, and that is the gardening space. So you're going to go to the gardening space and you're going to be able to plant new plants that you're working toward creating and growing, and you can, once you get one completed, you can pull that off for points. So there's a lot of different stuff that can happen there. So it's obviously very good that you've got that own action. Everyone can do that. No one else can block you for that action. But there's a number of other things you can do that are really cool. You can hire workers. You can plant new plots or make new spaces to take the dice, and that is how you're going to build your plants. And so you can see on this plant right here, for instance, you're going to need 2 big R's, 2 big G's, 2 big T's, 1 big F, and one little f to be able to make that work. So the board on the other side, I guess it's actually right here. You can see that. Right here, you're going to roll all of the dice. Everyone's going to take their actions first with their meeples, put them around the board wherever they want for their actions, and then you're going to roll all the dice. And you're going to place them in their varying spots. And if you're familiar with genetics, there are recessive and dominant traits. And so some of these traits are less common that are going to occur. And so this right here, when you have two big letters or 2 little letters, let's say this was 2 little t's, those are going to be less common. When you've got something that is 1 big F and 1 little f, or 1 big G and 1 little g, those are going to be more common. So how that looks when you roll the dice is you're basically going to have numbered 1, 2, 3, 4 on all of these dice, and then there's going to be an X as well on them. And the X is kind of a wild. So the first time you roll it, you're going to go ahead and re-roll it, which I think is kind of neat. But the 2s and the 3s are going to go into that middle section that's going to have the double letters, the 1 big one, 1 small one. So all that to say, it's kind of cool that they really work that into the game. As far as theme and everything, this is something that's a little bit interesting to me, but this is really, really fun. Like, they do a really good job of making this more fun than it sounds to most people. It is a very compelling game, in my opinion. And it's really neat too, just the idea of it, that you've got these different characteristics you're looking for. When you get one of those, what that looks like is taking a die from the main supply on the board where everyone would choose from. You take it, so no one else can take that anymore. Put it on your board, and then you take a little leaf and you cover one of your spots where you are trying to create these guys. And I just think that's really, really neat. I really like that. So the cards that are worth the most points are going to be the hardest to get. And so if you've got a bunch of big letters, or if you have a bunch of small letters that are paired up to each other, those are going to be a little harder to get. And then obviously getting 4 is going to be a lot harder than some of these cards just have 2 that you're going to need to get. So that is a basic run through of the game. Other things that you can do, you're obviously getting more cards, more plants that you're looking to build. You're getting tools that are one-time benefits that are really helpful. You're placing basically end-round scoring on these. That's going to help you with the scoring of all of the different cards you're playing throughout the game. And then, yeah, you can go over here to the, what was this one called? The Treasury, and that's going to give you a number of upgrades that you could do as well. So you could upgrade, and that's where you get the characters or new plots and different things like that. So overall, very impressed with this game. It was very nice. It seems like there's just enough there to make it a really engaging, compelling game without being way over the top and super complicated. Once you get into it, I think it will be fairly quick and easy to jump into. The dice, at first I was looking, I'm like, wait, where'd all these go? But then it just dawned on me, oh, okay, the 1s are always going to be on the far left and the 4s are always going to be on the far right. So it was, at the end, very pretty simple. There are ways to mitigate the die rolls and things like that. I know a lot of people don't love games that are driven by dice. I think a couple of things. One, you know the possibilities of things, and so that helps you decide what to do, and it's worth more points, the things that are less common. So it's a little bit of a push your luck, but then there's also other elements. There's the tools and other things like that, characters that allow you to basically take wilds, and if you don't get this, well, you can still just play this card and you can take that automatically. So I think they do enough of that this makes it a really compelling, really nice game. So that is Genotype. I am very impressed with it and really like it. So hopefully that gives you a nice little touch and a taste of Genotype right there, what it is, what it does, and why it may or may not be right for you. Thanks.